Kolabakam right here to host today's session. The session is virtual, yet it's a true blessing. A very blissful morning. First and foremost, I would like to devote my humble pranam to our Velama Pati, our distinguished and the most respectful Chairman Sir, Director Sir, and Director Academics Madam, who has always been a great inspiration and motivation to all of us. My humble thanks to them for arranging such great programs every now and then for us. The assembly of distinguished guests, Vice President Ma'am, illuminating fountains of heads, principals, vice principals, the most prized coordinators, teachers, and valued students and audience, a grand welcome to one and all from the Bellamore family. A name to reckon with the counseling fraternity is indeed Abhishek Gupta. Having unparalleled experience in the field, he has counseled over 70,000 students and has conducted over 600 career workshops. An intricately woven educational philosophy merged with excellent oration skills, Abhishek has spoken at international conferences across the globe. He has, in just over a decade, manifested his goals and is the recipient of the prestigious Times Education Icon 2019. An alum of the University of California, Los Angeles, Abhishek is also the founder and CEO of the High School MOM and International Alliance of Counselors and Educators, organizations working towards reimagining and reinventing education that connects parents, students, and educators worldwide. With an exemplary contribution to the lives of innumerable students, he continues to guide many more towards brighter and successful futures. It's time to listen to the unmatched stature and admiration, though he has attained glory in his chosen domain, his modesty, simplicity, and humility governed who he is today. I'm honored to welcome Mr. Abhishek Gupta to enlighten our minds.
Thank you, Aswita, for that wonderful introduction. So proud to see kids like you, so confident and talking on a virtual platform. It is really nice. All right, everybody, if you can hear me, give me a quick one. Excited in the chat, and I want excited to come all in the caps. I do not want it to come in the small letters. I hope the chat is enabled. So give me a quick excited, because if it's about career and if you're not excited, then it's definitely not helping. Awesome. And I can see excited coming into the chat. Remember, you need to use the chat really, really nicely, because that's the only way you will be able to reach out to me throughout the session. I will try and take as many questions as possible at the end of the session. But till that time, I request all of you, if you are kids, you need to ask your parents to sit along with you. And if you are parents listening to me, you need to ask your children to sit along with you, because a career planning, especially in a country like India, is a family affair. It's definitely not just a child's affair. Thank you so very much. It's so good to see the chat not stopping. To begin with, let me thank the entire Vellamal group, the president, chairman, director academics, principals, teachers, and students for inviting me to speak to all of you. My name is Abhishek Gupta, and apart from career counseling, I also happen to be the founder of today Asia's biggest high school student community called High School Moms. If you are there on Instagram and if you're not following High School Moms, then my suggestion is you must follow it right away. It's a really vibrant community which brings a lot of opportunities for kids in high school. And most of the opportunities are absolutely free of cost, and they are truly international. So you can go ahead, search High School Moms in the Instagram and follow. I am also the founder of International Alliance of Counselors and Educators, where about 3,000 school principals, counselors, and 300 plus top-notch universities are associated with me, while I bring opportunities for the 10 million parents and students who follow me across social media platforms. Without taking much time, let me quickly share my screen. And while I understand I'm supposed to be talking on study abroad and careers internationally, I titled my presentation as Successful Career Planning, because career whether in India or outside India, should be successful. My only request to some of you is that if you wish to ask me questions, then you better be on the camera. In case if we allow you to ask questions on the screen instead of just the chat, then you better be on the camera. Otherwise, I'm not gonna take your questions. Okay. All right, so that's about me. I'm an alumni of University of California, Los Angeles. Yes, I've been humbled and awarded with the Times Education Icon. And like I said, that I'm the founder of High School Moms and International Alliance of Counselors and Educators. Let's quickly understand this. Now, an ideal way of planning the right admission and right scholarship into universities is this. You do a little bit in grade 9, you do a little bit in grade 10, you do a little bit in grade 11, and you do a little bit in grade 12. That's the ideal way of planning your career. That's the ideal way of planning your admissions into the top-notch universities. And that definitely is the ideal way of planning your journey to the scholarships. Now, this is an ideal way, but what do we end up doing? We end up doing something like this. We do not do much in grade 9, 10, and 11, and we leave everything, practically everything for grade 12, which is a warning sign. Now, sessions like these and the efforts of your educators, effort of your school fraternity, effort of your entire group, your director academics, everybody, your head of career counseling division, everybody present here is only to ensure that the curve which is showing right now, which is flat in grade 9, 10, and 11, does not remain flat. And we go back to the previous slide where we do a little bit in grade 9, little bit in grade 10, little bit in grade 11, and we do a little bit in grade 12, where we are not leaving everything till grade 12 to plan our journey. Before going there, let me tell you, how the world has changed in last 18 months, and nobody understands it better than you guys, right? Whether you are a teacher, whether you're a principal, whether you are an educator, whether you're the president, chairperson, director, or whether you are the students and the parents, nobody understands it better than we do, how the world changed in last 18 months. But before going there, let me show you what has happened in last 30, 40 years, right? And then you will be able to understand the amount of change which has happened in last 18 months. So let me take you to 1960s, and pardon me for saying this. I'm talking about an era where most of us sitting on this platform were not born. Even the directors were not born, possibly the principals were not born in that era. At that time, when there were hardly any televisions, where there were hardly any internet was still in the research era. There was no telephones, forget about mobile phones. Television was just about coming in, and America launched its first animation series, its first cartoon series called Jetsons. Now, Jetsons was a comical take on what world could look 300 years down the line. So much so when Jetsons used to come, there used to be a prelude music to it, which used to say, we are trying to show you what will happen to the world in 300 years. And this is what they showed. They showed flying drones. They showed the main characters doing video conferencing. They showed main characters trying to talk through smartwatches. Now, remember, we are talking about an era where there was hardly any television. So video conferencing was something more like magic. Flying drones, definitely magic. Smartwatches, definitely magic. This is what they showed in 1960s, thinking that this all will become true in 300 years. But what has happened is this. Flying drones are reality. Middle East is already operating drone taxis. Zoom has been your and my home for last 18 months. The best way we know about video conferencing. Apple iWatches is a reality. So something which was presumed to happen in 300 years actually happened in about 40, 50 years. And this is how rapidly the world changed. Now, while the world is changing around us, are we actually changing in terms of our career planning approach, in terms of our college planning approach, in terms of finding out which are the right careers for us for the future? In last 18 months, understand how the world has changed. Somebody who was supposed to treat me refused to see me. So when I fell sick and I called up a doctor, he said, if you have cough, cold, or fever, please do not come. Meet me online and I'll treat you. That was the power of the pandemic. In last 18 months, from boardroom presentations to sales presentations to birthday parties to kitty parties, unfortunately, even funerals and prayer services were happened online. That's how the world changed around us. The technology curve completely shifted. The way we have used internet in last 18 months, we have never used it in the history of internet ever before, right? In all the big cities around the world, there is an area which is called special economic zone. Even in India, we have certain areas. For example, in Gurgaon, there is an area called Cyber City. So there are about 100, 200, 500 IT, ITES, KPO, BPO, financial services companies, which are working within 500 square meters. In Bangalore, it is Whitefield. In Pune, it is called Hinjewadi. In Hyderabad, it is called Electronic City, right? Every big city has this special economic zone where there are 100, 200, 500 companies within 500 square meters, right? Now, you have to understand that within this 500 square meter or half a kilometer, there are about at least 500,000 employees working in the top tall buildings, right? Do you think these people are ever coming back to offices, or all of them are coming back to offices even when the COVID gets over? You're badly mistaken. The answer is no. Even when the COVID settles down completely, most of these employees will continue to work from home, and I'll give you the reason. Imagine 500,000 employees, 5 lakh employees in 500 square meter, drinking 4 cups of tea a day, and each cup of tea is $5. We are talking about close to 1 crore rupees a day on tea and coffee, 30 crores a month, and 365 crores a year. To add to it, there is expense of toilet paper rolls, toilet soap, electricity, post-it, pens, papers, photocopier, printing, security, internet, real estate, maintenance. I have not even added all of that. So what you have to understand is that the world changed so much that companies are now enjoying employees working from home because A, it has reduced their costs drastically. B, it has improved the productivity. And it has improved the productivity simply because when we used to go to office, 6 o'clock, we used to shut down our box, which is the laptop. And we used to tell our boss, bye-bye, it's home time, I'm going back home. But now the boss also knows that you and me are practically home 24/7. So at 10 o'clock in the night, there is a WhatsApp which comes and says, hey, I want you to join right now for an emergency meeting. And you have nothing else but to join. So while the costs have gone down for the companies, the number of working hours have definitely gone up, and the world around us has completely changed. Now, since the world around us has completely changed in the way we work, in the way we function, can we still go ahead with the age-old traditional degrees? Can we still go ahead with the age-old traditional careers? My answer possibly is a no, right? Okay, we'll quickly skip these because in the interest of time, I'll stick to this. Now, I do understand that, there is a lot of frenzy in India about engineering and medical degrees. They are great qualifications. However, we also have to understand that 80% of the engineers in India are unplaceable. We also have to understand that almost 16 lakh students write NEET for about few 40,000, 41,000 seats. When you decide to become, just because you like biology, does that mean that you need to become a doctor only? Possibly the answer is no in today's time, because A, liking biology in grade 11 and 12 and studying it as one subject versus studying biology for in every subject for next 4 years, 5 years, 8 years of your life, these are two different things altogether. Also, what you need to understand is that nobody goes and shows it to an MBBS anymore. So there is a huge gestation period of becoming a doctor. Let me give you an example. 5.5 years, if you are lucky and if you have cracked NEET in the first instance itself, 5.5 years for your MBBS, about 1 year of internship, That's when you will become an MBBS. If you are really intelligent, then 2 years you will prepare for your MD, and 2 years you will spend in MD. So 6.5 and 2 is 8.5, and 2 years of MD is 10.5. And after that, you will have to minimum work for 3 to 4 years in a good hospital to start your own practice. So we are talking about good 13 to 15 years of gestation period to become a doctor. My question is, before you decide becoming an engineer or a doctor, do you ask these questions? For example, am I willing to study for next 15 years of my life? Am I willing to invest 15 years of my life to become a professional? If the answer comes from your heart and it says, yes, I'm willing to, then definitely becoming a doctor is a great, great profession. It's emotionally gratifying. It's a good social service, and definitely it can give you good money. But if the answer comes out that no, I cannot study for 13 to 15 years, then why are we trying to become doctors, right? So that's the question I want to start up with. First question is, what comes first, a career or subject choices? So some of you who are in grade, let's say 9 and 10, and who are on the verge or the cusp of doing subject choices, it's like a chicken and an egg story. What came first, the chicken or the egg? All right. The question is, one, you come first. Neither the subject choices nor the career selection. As long as you are able to understand yourself better, you are able to understand your own likes and dislikes, you are able to retrospect and introspect, you will definitely have a good prospect. So what you need to understand is that between career and subjects, career should always come first and subject choices should come later. It's always better to do backward planning than forward planning. So if I know what career I want to get into, then I can possibly decide what are the right colleges to get into those careers. And to get into those right colleges, what are the subjects that I require to do? What are the entrance tests that I require to write? It becomes much easier than by first identifying the subjects and let's assuming taking PCM and then wondering, what can I do with PCM without being an engineer, right? Now, then there can be hundreds and thousands of options and it becomes very, very difficult to actually identify the right career. So ideally, the career should come first and subject choices should come later, because you cannot in today's time study what you don't intend to study or what you don't need to study. So even if you are unable to figure out a very specific career, so let's say I want to become I want to study psychology, I want to make my career in psychology, but I do not know whether I will be a clinical psychologist or I'll be a counseling psychologist. It's okay. As long as you know that you want to create your career in and around psychology, you will be able to select your right subjects. You will be able to select the right universities and right colleges. So the first thing that you need to possibly worry about is identifying a broad area of career and then selecting the subjects accordingly instead of vice versa. Now, how do you get into highly selective universities abroad, right? To get into highly, and this rule applies to even in the great universities like Flame in India or Kriya in India, it even applies there. To get into a highly selective universities, 30% of weightage is given to your academics. So your school marks become really, really important. And when your teachers, your principals, your president, your chairperson, your director of academics, when they are asking you to prepare well in grade 9, 10, 11, 12, and asking you to score well, it's not for their own benefit. They are doing it because they understand that internationally and even in the great top-notch private universities in India, academics are important and 30% of the weightage is on academics. 40% of the weightage is on your extracurricular profile and standardized test. Standardized test is something like SAT. Now, some of you would say SAT has become optional. Forget about it. For you as a student, SAT is not optional. You cannot get into the trap of SAT being optional, because great universities will be able to find those 1,000, 2,000, 5,000 students who have taken the SAT and given an additional score for admissions. But 40% of the weightage is on extracurriculars. Problem, A, there are hardly any extracurricular activities available in India. B, schools became completely virtual in last 18 months. So they had their hands full in being able to provide you with extracurricular activities. I promise you, by the time I leave the session, as a gesture to entire Vellamal group, I will leave you guys with two great profile building opportunities, highly selective in nature, absolutely free of cost for each one of you, no hidden charges. And I'm speaking on a public platform. You can always hold me up to it, as a gesture for all of you to participate in. And that can really make your difference in terms of your profile. But 40% of your weightage is on extracurricular activities or learning outside the classroom, simply because learning outside the classroom develops certain skill sets which are never developed inside the classroom: leadership skills, communication skills, networking skills, analytical skills, critical thinking, problem solving. These are not just big words. These are reality, boys and girls, and you really need to understand. The best part about today's generation, that is you, is that you are very logical. And I understand you need to be given logic for you guys to believe in. You do not want just emotional gyan. And that's why it is important for you to understand that these are not just words, they are real skills which are required for you to become successful in life. Last 30% is dependent upon your quality of essays and SOPs and statement of purpose. So you need to write about 3,000, 3,500 words when you apply to great universities. And this is termed as SOP. And then there are certain questions given which are in the form of, which you have to answer in the form of essays. For example, last year, Harvard had an essay which said, tell me something Harvard should ask you. Answer that thing and also write why Harvard should ask you that thing. Now imagine, it sounds very easy, but it's really crazily difficult topic to write about, because Harvard has given you a whiteboard to decide what do you want Harvard to ask you. Then you answer that thing and also write why Harvard should ask you only that thing and not anything else, right? So this is the mantra of getting into a highly selective university, whether it is Harvard in US or UBC or Huron University in Canada, or whether it is MIT, or whether it is Oxford, Cambridge, LSC, or NUS Singapore, or Melbourne Business School. Wherever you go, this mantra applies. How do you get scholarships? Now, to get scholarships, because for some of us, going abroad might make sense financially. For some of us, we might not be able to afford going abroad. But just because we are unable to afford going abroad, does that mean that I cannot go abroad? The answer is no. It does not mean that you cannot go abroad. One example is sitting right in front of you. Somebody who came from a very humble background. Rather, let me tell you that I came from a family where we had only one gadget. Yes, it was very technologically advanced, and this gadget was so technologically advanced that whatever might go wrong with the gadget, you tilt it 45 degrees, you straighten it up, you kick it, and it used to start. And that was called a scooter. I would not take the brand name, otherwise somebody will sue me. But I came from a family where the most expensive gadget was a second-hand scooter. From there to possibly driving a BMW today, it's a dream come true. However, this dream has come true because I never thought that the opportunities which are there for the rich are not available for me. I just have to work hard to get them. So in case if you can afford it, wonderful. In case if you cannot, there are enough scholarships available in the world that you and me can apply to and realize our dream of going abroad. But what do we need to show to a university to get that scholarship? First, high intellectual curiosity. So as long as you are able to tell the university that I'm way beyond my school academics, I have interest in external reading, I have interest in doing online programs, I have done certain summer programs, I have done some internships. Internships, remember, are the most profile building activity you can ever get. Unfortunately, in India, there are hardly any international research and internship opportunities available. And that's why I will leave you with two of them before I end my session. So in case anybody wants to get hang of those amazing profile building opportunities, you have to stay back till the end. Second, universities look at leadership skills. So leadership skills do not come just by becoming the school captain or the vice captain or the head boy or the head girl or the prefect or the house prefect. Leadership can also be shown when you are a part of the team. Leadership skills are very, very critical. If you are the head boy, head girl, house prefect, captain,
then you definitely have something extra to talk about. But even if you are just a part of the cricket team, even if you're just a part of the volleyball or the basketball team, as long as you can showcase how your involvement impacted the overall team's performance, boom, you have shown your leadership skills. And it is very, very important to all top-notch universities in the world, including in India. Community engagement. Now, the biggest mistake that we all do is right before our admission cycle in grade 12, we go to our mom and dad and we say, can you get us some certificates from an NGO? Because I've heard somewhere that community engagement is important, and universities give you scholarships on the basis of that. It's true, but getting NGO for the sake of NGOs and community engagement is absolutely nana, no, nako, nada, zero, zilch. Absolutely avoided, because universities see thousands and thousands and thousands of applications each year. And if you think they cannot make it out, whether it is a fake certificate or you are really involved in community building, you are badly mistaken. So you really need to do community engagement, not because of admissions, but because of making a difference to the world. You can also get into certain careers, which can also make you rich, but you are able to help the community and the society. For example, my career as a career counselor, I'm able to empower, enlighten, and make students aspire to achieve their dreams while I'm making a successful living for myself. So community engagement is very, very important for universities at large. Last, to get the scholarships, you have to be on time. And on time does not mean that you will start your college journey and college planning in grade 12. No, you have to start it as early as grade 10. And then go slowly and steadily and do things on time to ensure that you not only get the right scholarship, but also the right admission. All right, at this juncture, I really want to know how many of you are from grade 9, how many of you are from grade 10, 11, and 12. So quickly in the chat, if you can just type in your class, 10, 11, 9, 10, 11, 12, quickly. Damn, you made my life difficult. It's actually from each class. So I'll have to talk about all of them. All right, thank you, boys and girls. Are you enjoying it by now? Do you want me to continue? Do you want me to quit? I do not want to waste your time. So for all of you who want me to continue, type in a big C in the chat right now, because that's the only way your voice is reaching out to my heart and soul. And that's the only way your voice is reaching out to your faculty, your teachers who have taken so much of effort in arranging this career fair. If you really want to thank them, then the only way to thank them is be highly engaged in the chat, and they know that even on a virtual platform, students are listening. Thank you so very much, boys and girls. Absolutely phenomenal. Thank you so very much. All right. Now, what are those careers? Now, this is one screen. I really want you all to take the screenshot of. This is one screen which should actually become your guiding principle for next few years in identifying the right career. This is not a very, very comprehensive list, but this is my list of the amazing career options which are possibly going to become big in future. You really need to identify one career out of this list if you can, and world will be a great place for you to perform and perform well. And there is a career for everybody. If you are from sciences with PCM, there is a career in this list. If you are from PCB, there is a career in this list. If you are from let's say humanities or commerce, there's a career in this list. Remember one thing, that Kanishka will not be able to share the PPT beta. That's my IP, but I'm happy if you can make your notes right now. Definitely the presentation is getting recorded, and if your school authorities are willing to share the presentation, I'm more than happy. So please understand, there was a time when we all used to go for something called traditional degrees. A traditional degree would be like a BCom, a BSc, or a BBA. Going forward, the world is all about non-traditional degrees. You cannot go into degrees which are very traditional, because they used to focus on one area of knowledge. So for example, if I wanted to study economics, they used to focus on, and the degree used to be called BA or BSc Economics. I wanted to do physics, the degree used to be called BSc Physics. I wanted to do biology, it used to be called BSc Biology. Going forward, the world is moving towards a concept called liberal education. Our new education policy is all about liberal education. It says that every institution in this country, every university, IIT, or every college in this country will become liberal, where you and me can go and study what we want to study. So tomorrow, if we want to study physics with music, nobody will be able to stop us. If we want to study music with history, nobody will be able to stop us. If you want to study computer science with economics, nobody will be able to stop us. What you need to understand is that liberal education is not new. It's very old across the world. Rather, India was the birthplace for liberal education during Nalanda and Takshashila days. Unfortunately, Britishers burnt our libraries, and we had nothing better but to copy the British education system. However, liberal education is the future. Unfortunately, by the time new education policy will get implemented, possibly you will have your own kids. So we cannot wait for new education policy to get implemented. There are enough universities in India and outside India which are liberal in nature, and you can go ahead and become can get a degree into liberal education, which means I can combine various subjects. So I can combine physics with computer science. I can combine biology with computer science and go into a career called computational biology. I can combine biology with psychology and go into careers like clinical psychology, counseling psychology, forensic psychology. I can combine psychology with forensics and go into criminology. I can combine mathematics with computers and go into a career called computational mathematics or data science. I can combine economics with computers and go into data science. I can combine economics with psychology and go into consumer behavior, organizational behavior, market research. Research says, and 3 million students were researched, research says that if you study one subject, you get 3 jobs. But if you study 2 subjects and combine them in a major minor combination, 1 major and 1 minor, then you get about 33 different jobs. That means 11 times more. So what you really need to understand is that world is about these careers, yes. However, it is also about interdisciplinary skill sets. Interdisciplinary skill sets means that, because there is another research which is going on which says that people like you, and I'm talking to the entire Gen Z right now, the teenagers, you will not change 5 jobs, you will change 5 careers. And remember, when the research is about 3 million students in about 20 countries, that research does not go wrong. I have changed 4 careers. Imagine a science student shifting to commerce, going all the way to UCLA to study management, working in a technology company, selling technology which he didn't understand. And today, as a career counselor, I'm in a career which is pure humanities, right? So I have changed 4 careers. You will change 5 careers. Chandra, Rishi, I will answer your questions. Please do not type in your questions before I open the session for Q&A, because your questions will go up and I'll not be able to see them. Once I open the session for Q&A, you can very well ask me the questions. All right, we'll skip this. This is not for you. But if for all of those who are in grade 9, this is not your time to worry about the career. Take a chill pill. What you really need to start doing is create a breadth profile. Now, profile is created by 2 types. One is called a breadth profile and the other is called the depth profile. Okay, consider it like a T-shape, inverted T. Okay, so breadth profile is created first. When in grade 9 and 10, you start doing a little bit of everything, a little bit of music, a little bit of sports, a little bit of speech and debate, a little bit of MUNs. That's called creating a breadth profile. Why do we need to create a breadth profile? Because in grade 9, we do not know what we like and what we do not like. Only when we participate in multiple things, we get to know what we like and what we do not like, right? For example, my son is in grade 8 and imagine he's doing, he's into music, he's into coding, he's into speech and debate. He has coded about 300 apps, out of which 3 of them have been approved by Google. He is Harvard and Georgetown speech and debate champion. He is world rank 31 in American Mathematical Challenge. He's Trinity grade 6 as a guitarist. He's a Trinity grade 5 as a drummer. So what we did was we started very early, and I started creating interest of my child in multiple things, because by the time he will come into grade 10 and 11, I want him to pick his or his interest in such a manner that then he can create a depth profile. So grade 9 is a beautiful time for you to start engaging in various international activities, national activities, and develop your interests. Grade 10 is the time when you will start exploring your careers. And if you are in grade 10 and if you have not started exploring your careers as yet, then you're definitely going late. So now is the time when you start exploring what kind of careers do I want to get into, and how do I explore that? Ask yourself some basic questions. One, what kind of a person I am? Am I a person who loves to talk to people like Abhishek? Am I a person who loves to travel around the world like Abhishek? Or am I a person who would love to sit on a computer throughout the day and code? Am I a person who would love to sit on a system throughout the day and crack numbers? What kind of a person I am? Second question that you must ask about yourself is, what is the time of the day that makes me really productive? Not everybody, just by reading 5 a.m. club, do you think everybody can actually get up at 5 a.m. and become successful? The answer is no. I'll give you my example. I'm a late evening person. Ask me, I hate getting up early morning and getting into the webinars. If you give me an opportunity to do a webinar at 5 o'clock in the evening, I'll be at my super awesome best, because that's my peakest energy time. So identify what kind of a person are you? What is your most productive time of the day? If your most productive time of the day is, let's say, evening hours, keep your most difficult subjects to study for evening, and you will see your 1 hour of effort will give you 4 hours of result instead of vice versa. So grade 10 is a great time for you to start exploring about careers, interacting with people, continue to develop your breadth profile. But now is the time that you really need to start focusing on grades, because remember, boys and girls, best of the universities across the world, especially if you want admissions into them, and especially if you want them to give you scholarships, they're going to see your scores as early as grade 10 onwards. And you cannot take it lightly. You cannot say that I scored bad in 10th and I'll score good in 11th and great universities will take me. The answer is no. Grade 11 is the time when you need to start now identifying your right career, and you need to start college research. Remember, career first, college and subject choices later. Career first, colleges and subject choices later. If I've forgotten to tell you, identify the career first and college and subject choices later. This is the time when in grade 11 and 12, since we have now identified, let's say, for example, I am enjoying MUNs. Can I now organize certain MUNs? Can I go into the organizing committee of my MUN club of the school? It is now the time when you will take certain international competitions and create a depth profile. Show your leadership, remember? Show your academic curiosity, remember? Show your communication skills, right? And continue to focus on your grades. At this time, if you are in grade 11 and if you have not taken the SAT, you are badly going wrong. Remember, SAT is not only to go abroad, it is even accepted in 42 universities in India. You do not want to write 42 different exams when 42 different universities in India, be it Flame, Ashoka, Kriya, Palaksha, BM Munjal, Shivnadar, there are so many universities in India which accept one score, which is the SAT score. During my presentation, if you want to know where you can prepare for SAT, which people give you great SAT prep online so that you do not have to go to the physical classes. And remember, you do not have to go for physical classes. Do not waste time in commuting when you can do all this. Going to school in person is important because that's where you make your friends and that's where you build your culture. But you can do everything else apart from school, sitting at home online, and save your time. So I'll do that. Grade 12, if by now you have not started preparing your college resume, you are going slow. And this is also the time when you need to work extra to create your depth profile. Continue to create your incremental learning curve. So incremental learning curve means, let's say if you want to study computer science at MIT, you cannot write in its application that, hey, I'm a 95% student and I want to now come and study computer science at MIT. You have to show it to MIT that you are in love with computer science and that your love for computer science is growing year after year. And that's called incremental learning curve. So you did certain programming languages in grade 10, certain in grade 11, wrote a couple of international coding competitions in grade 12. That's how you show MIT how much you are in love with computer science. And same applies to any other university and any other subject area. Focus on your school grades because your predictives are really, 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 really important. Benefits of SAT I've already said. It helps you to increase your chances of scholarships. It also helps you to increase your admissions chances, not only in India, but outside India. And if you meet somebody who says SAT has become optional, please understand this is a half-baked truth for you. If you really want to make it to the best of the universities, you cannot take anything for a chance. So please, please, for heaven's sake, if you're in grade 11, write your SAT this year. APs are certain exams. Because of paucity of time, I will not be able to talk much about APs, but imagine these are certain exams which you can write in India, and they can really reduce your cost of education. Each AP exam is only out of 5 marks. It happens only once in a year, and all the students who are entering grade 12, they should take the APs in the month of May. Depending upon what you want to study, you can ask your school counselor or any other counselor what AP exams to write. A grade student can write as many as 5 to 7 AP exams and can reduce the cost of education by at least almost to the tune of 5 to 10 lakh rupees per AP exam is the kind of money that you can save for your parents if you go abroad. It also helps you to get tuition credits. Please go ahead and research more about AP exams. Like I said, helps you to get tuition credits, reduces your time of study and cost of study, increases your chances of scholarship. It's a multiple choice question plus free response question. Registration for APs are open even now for next year. Registrations will close anytime in next 10-15 days. So if you really want to go abroad, you must consider writing APs. One institute that you can possibly call up and talk to, these are the numbers. My all students go to these 2 numbers and take online classes. They deliver it out of Delhi and Gurgaon. And the great part about them is that if you pay once to prepare for SAT, and if you even don't get score, they do not charge you again. They help you prepare all over again. So if your child, if parents are listening, if your child is in grade 10 and grade 11, and kids, if you're listening, if you're in grade 10 and 11, you must prepare for the SAT. Now, which degree to choose? Like I said, you should avoid traditional degrees. They do not prepare you for the future. You should look at liberal education degrees. How to select the right university then? If you want to select the right university, there are certain things that you need to be very, very clear about. One, rankings are definitely not the right way of selecting the university, especially at the undergrad level. They are very, very misleading. Rankings have several parameters, especially in India. Some of the rankings are absolutely bought and sold. So do not look at rankings. What you really need to look at is a university which provides you the flexibility to choose courses. So if I want to study business management with economics, I should be allowed. If I want to study economics with computer science, or economics with mathematics, or economics with psychology, I should be allowed. If I want to study biology with psychology, nobody should be able to stop me. If I want to study computer science with chemistry and go into computational chemistry, nobody should be able to stop me. There are amazing options which liberal education universities in India and outside India provides you. Certain examples that I can give you is Flame University in India, according to me, is one of the finest liberal education universities in India. Huron University in Canada is one of the finest liberal education universities in Canada. And imagine some of these universities like Huron, they even end up giving scholarships as high as $100,000. Now, if you are able to plan well in time, you can possibly study in Canada at the cost of studying in India. Wow, isn't it? The only thing is, remember the last thing that I said in terms of how to get scholarships? Be on time. If you are on time, you will be able to. Also, what you need to understand is that I don't want to send my child to any university which only teaches and more teaches. That's it. I want to send my child where a university, apart from teaching, gives some practical exposure to my child through internships, because that's what makes my child employable, right? So you also should, before identifying the right university, ask this question to the university representative: whether do you provide us internships or not? Because if today I have one vacancy and I have two students for it, one with 95% marks and the other says, sir, I just have 85%, but I've done 3 internships and I've done 1 internship under your competition, you know whom will I hire? The second one, because that person has more practical exposure and is far easily trainable than the first person. I am not bothered just about marks. For me, they value only 30%. 70% is the extracurriculars and additional knowledge which a person carries. And some of you who are wanting to go into civil services, armed forces, please remember, extracurricular activities are even desired by armed forces today. They are asked about in civil services interviews, so you cannot take them lightly. Internships is very important, and that's why you must ask the university, do you provide internships? A great university will never leave a good child because of shortage of funds. So if an internship is willing to give you scholarship, if you are a good student, that's a great university to go to. Student experience. I am not going to a university only to study. I am going to a university to live each and every moment of my life, because let's accept it, boys and girls, while we want you to work hard and study harder, we also want you to enjoy your next 4 years in college, because this life will never come back. It will never come back. Enjoy responsibly. And that's why student experience, the kind of clubs, associations, activities that university provides me, exchange opportunities, networking opportunities with the corporate, they become really, really important. At high school norms, do you know that we have something called GUIDE, which is our India's only inter-school high school student club. Thousands of students are members of our student club. They come from various schools of the country. 83-member student council manages the club, and it's a club by the students for the students. I mean, it's a club where you meet your own tribe, you develop opportunities, and it's all about experience. And you can also become a member of the club. Though this club is not free, it has an annual charges of 3,000 rupees. But you can always look up our Instagram handle to know more about it. But I really want you to understand that universities are good when they provide you scholarships. They are good when they provide you internships. They're good when they provide you flexibility to choose. And if their alumni network is strong, because it's your alumni network which helps you become more placeable. Some of the examples that you can look at, which are really great for the future. So even if you are a science student, and if you're going to a liberal education university, as long as you can combine one science subject with one of these 4 subjects: economics, computer science, psychology, and business management, you will become a true resource for the future. Please understand that when you do computer engineering and you become a good coder, then also after 4 years, you will not be coding yourself. You will have a team which will be coding for you. So the skills required to manage the team is leadership, communication, so and so forth. They are very different than the coding skills. And that's why liberal education degrees involve you to learn about all those skills which are required to be successful for the future. Examples of good liberal education universities are right on your screen. Now, when should you go abroad? I saw a couple of questions in the chat. Should I go abroad for masters or should I go abroad for bachelors? If you really want to go abroad, remember, going abroad for bachelors is far more desirable than going abroad for masters. Chances are you and me, possibly you and my son, will never even do their masters, because today bachelors have become super specialized. Previously, if you wanted to become a robotics engineer, you had to go to IIT to do engineering. And after that, you had to write GATE and then do a diploma in IIT Kharagpur called postgraduate diploma in mechatronics, which is nothing but robotics. Today, there are dedicated specialized program in bachelors of mechanical engineering where you can specialize in robotics. There are programs in bachelors in economics and computer science where you can specialize in data science. There are programs in psychology where you can specialize in clinical psychology. So chances are you and me might not even need to spend another crore rupees on our masters, Rather, we keep on updating our skills online and keep on changing our jobs and climb the ladder further. So bachelor's is a great time for you to go abroad. Does it matter if you do a BA degree or a BSc degree in liberal education? The answer is no. Do not worry about the terminology. Even if you are going for a BA computer science or a BSc computer science, it really does not matter. What matters is the core components of the program. So you do not have to worry about the terminologies of the degrees abroad, at least. How important is extracurriculars in today's time? Very, very important. We talked about breadth and depth profile. We talked about the communication, networking, global exposure, interdisciplinary. These are 4 very important skills. All right. One question that I want to ask all of you before we quickly finish it up in next 5-7 minutes, because we started 10 minutes late. So I'm also running 10 minutes late in my presentation. But before we spend another 10 minutes in opening certain opportunities for you and answering your questions, one question that I want to ask you right now, how many, and keep your hand on your heart and answer this truthfully. How many of you by now think that I'm a good career counselor? Give me a yes in the chat or give me a no in the chat, and don't worry, I'll not be offended. All right. So majority of you think that I'm a good career counselor, barring few of you who are saying no. Please understand, I have not counseled you. I have not counseled you. Still, you are able to make a judgment on me whether I'm good or I'm bad. You know why? Because for some of you who liked my communication skills, thought that I'm a good career counselor. For some of you who did not like my communication skills or whose question I have not answered so far, think that I'm a bad career counselor. It is these skills, communication, networking, global exposure, and your interdisciplinary skills, which make people draw an assumption and an opinion about you, like you have done it about me. So it is very, very important for all of you to understand that these skills are not just words. They really make an impression about you, good, bad, or ugly. And that's how it is very important for you to participate in extracurricular activities, not only to get admissions, not only to get scholarships, but to make your own personality, to develop your own character. Now, how do we find profile building opportunities? Unfortunately, there aren't many profile building opportunities available in India, but there are some MUNs happening. There are speech and debate competitions happening, sports competitions happening, music competitions through Trinity happening, and you can identify and research about those opportunities. Internships definitely exist, very rare for high school students in India. And even if they do, some of the private organizations charge as much as $4,000 to $7,000. That is almost to the tune of 3 lakhs to 6 lakh rupees for you to get an internship under an international faculty. Cutoffs are going through the roof. I mean, Delhi University cutoff for English honors is 100%. I mean, I know it's crazy. I know, and I can understand what you feel as students. Yeah. I mean, I completely resonate with you. It's super crazy. Who can score 100 or 100 in a language? Nobody. Language is not supposed to be perfect, but that's what is the reality. And that's where, when marks stop becoming a differentiating factor, your extracurricular activities become a differentiating factor for you to identify any of those right careers that I showed you and for you to get into the right universities. I know there are problems that you do not know which extracurricular activities to participate in, but I will now give you a solution too. Before I do that, High School Moms is Asia's biggest parent and student community. We are there on Instagram. We are there on Facebook. The way you can reach out to us or connect with us is through Instagram if you are students. It's by a handle called High School Moms. Follow us. 3,000 school principals, counselors, and universities are already part of our International Alliance of Counselors and Educators. Through them, we bring a lot of amazing opportunities for students. We have amazing school partnerships. This is a non-commercial partnership. And through Kavita, we will try to reach out to your school group as well to become our school partner, where we curate opportunities absolutely free of cost for students of that particular group. Podar Education Group, Shivnadar Group, Viti Education Group. There are lots of groups in India and Middle East who are DPS, who are our school partners. We bring amazing opportunities for students two opportunities that I definitely want to talk about, three actually. One is called Global Edconnect, the other is called Internships, and the third one is called Student Club, which are great way for you to build profile. Let me start with internships. We started free internships for students, where we started bringing international faculty to teach you, to help you research, and to build your profile in such a manner that you not only get scholarships from the universities, but you also get admissions into the best of the universities and build your personality. I brought one in the field of business and entrepreneurship, which was supported by one of the finest universities in the world, Huron, Singapore Institute of Management from Singapore, Flame University in India. 2,700 students participated, and imagine nobody had to pay anything. We went all the way. We created a competition out of it. Faculty from these three universities came and taught you about business skills, entrepreneurship skills, startup skills. And the top three students not only won scholarships, they even got top 400 students got certificate of participation, top 20 students got certificate of merit, top 10 got certificate of excellence, and top 3 got scholarships. They even got admissions into Flame and Huron into their boot camp absolutely free of cost. I personally gave out iPads and iPhones. So it was a great opportunity. Then we got one in psychology and mental health. Amazing thing happened. Almost thousands of students again participated. It became so popular that almost all newspapers in this country approached me for an interview. I was interviewed by the best of the news channels. 140 newspapers across the world called it India's biggest profile building opportunity for students to get admissions and scholarships, from Times of India in India to Business Standard to Malaysian Sun to Telegraph, California Telegraph to Australia's Morning Tribune. Each one of them actually featured about this internship. And imagine, I'm again telling you, the only thing required from your side was some time and effort. And none of our internships clash with your school exams or your school timings. They happen in the evening hours, they happen online, and they never clash with the school exams. So I will now leave two opportunities for you where you can build your profile. I am bringing two internships. Today is the last day to register actually. Yesterday was the last day to register, but today I am extending it to all of you who are in grade 10, 11, and 12. If you are in grade 9, these internships are not open for you. If you are in grade 9, these internships are not open for you. I'm sorry. They are only open for grade 10, 11, and 12. They're absolutely free of cost. You cannot apply to both. One is in economics and political science. One is in physical sciences and chemistry. You can apply to one of them, not both of them. The link is now coming in the chat. If I can ask my team, Randeep, if you can paste the link, and for some minutes, if we can stop the chat. The link to internships is now coming in the chat. You can register. Remember, registration is already closed. We have opened the registration for next 2 hours for all of you. And after that, at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I am doing the introductory session today itself with thousands of students. Almost 2,000 plus students are expected to join for the introductory session. And attendance to all these sessions is mandatory, so you cannot miss out. You will not only be able to learn from the best of the faculty across the world, you will also gain scholarships from the universities, and you will get certificates for your participation. Randeep, have you pasted? Please paste the link. This is our student club where students come to various cities. The link for internship registration has been pasted in the chat. I've stopped the chat for a few minutes so that you can click on it and register. Now, if you want to become a member of our student club, again, the link to become a member is there in the Instagram bio of our Instagram handle. Our handle is called High School Moms. HIGHSCHOOLMOMS, 3 different words. The link is there. These students come and participate and volunteer on various of our events. They attend amazing sessions. Recently, we did a session for them exclusively for our student club members, which was 5 principles of exemplary leadership. Then we did a session on how to build your college resume. There are exclusive workshops by universities where we make them interact with the best of the universities, to ask their queries and questions. So they do that. Every time we do a session for our student club, these are the kind of comments they give us immediately on Instagram in real time. So follow your community on Instagram. Last, one more link coming in your chat right now is about Global Edconnect. Now imagine by sitting at your home from a screen like this, you will be able to meet 80 plus universities, not only one, from India, from Australia, from US, from Canada. Flame is joining, University of California is joining, University of Bristol, Huron University in Canada, University of Toronto in Canada, most of the amazing universities across the world, Korea, which is in your part of the world, most of the universities from across the world, good universities are joining, and you will be able to go to them and talk to them and ask them, what are your admissions criteria? What are your scholarships? Please remember, even if you want to go abroad or study in India, you really need to know about a university to be able to get inside that university. We are unable to get an admission or scholarship into a university only because we haven't done our research right. So Global Ed Connect is going to be there on 13th of November. It is open on 12th of November also, but 12th of November, it is only and only for teachers, educators, principals, all the teachers listening to me, directors, principals, presidents, you all are invited, and we will be very happy to send the link to Ms. Kavita, and she can circulate it to all the educators. Over 100 educators, top-notch educators of the world are coming, presidents of the universities and senior principals from schools in our country are coming, and they will be talking to other educators and other teachers and other counselors on 12th of November. 13th of November is open only and only for parents and students, where you can not only listen to me as a career counselor, ask your queries in my booth. There'll be booths. You can click and get inside and you can talk to the people, but you will also be able to meet 80 plus universities and ask your queries. So those of you who are registering for internship, either of them, economics or sciences, you will be automatically registered for Global Ed Connect University Fair. For those of you who are not registering for internships and are not selected, you can then register for GEC and attend the GEC. Student club activities that we do, leadership skills, networking with universities, certificate workshops, creating their own clubs. You can become a member. People who are asking me what is our Instagram handle, High School Moms, Facebook handle, and the website address for you to have a look. Now, at this juncture, I close my presentation. I have talked to you about how do you plan your career. I've showed you the list of some amazing careers for the future. I've told you how do you plan your journey to a great university for scholarships. Now I'm opening the chat. However, before I open the chat and allow you to ask questions, you can go ahead and register for either of the internships. Remember, you cannot register for both. And since thousands of students have already registered and it's free of cost, on the basis of an essay and on the basis of a research of universities that you will do on Global Ed Connect, we will select only 400 students per batch. But these 400 students will then get an opportunity to build their profile with one of the most selective profile building opportunities in the world, absolutely free of cost. So this is your chance to be able to make a profile to make it to the best of the universities with scholarship. You can also register for Global Ed Connect University Fair. The link is again there in your chat. Opening the chat right now for your questions. Thank you so very much, Velamel Group. Thank you, Kavita Mathur, for inviting me. Thank you, President, Chairman, Sir, Ma'am, Director, Sir, Ma'am, principals, and teachers and students, definitely, for patiently listening to me. Thank you so very much. House is now open for question and answers for next 15 to 20 minutes. Will there be anybody from Kavita from your side to
Yes,
with the question?
Hemlata, who is managing it? Will Srinath be doing it to unmute them?
Srinath sir is available.
Yeah.
All right, just give me 30 seconds. I need to just wet my throat a little with water, warm water. 30 seconds.
Dear students, I posted a link for you to submit the feedback about the session. And if you have any queries, questions, you can also be updated in this. We'll try to reach you with answers. Thank you.
All right. Okay, so I have questions here, some of them that I can take immediately. About USMLE. So if you want to go and become a practicing doctor in US, you need to understand that US medical system does not have undergrad in medicine. It only has postgrad. So what you have to do is you have to, even if you do your MBBS from India, then you have to write an exam called USMLE to get into the licensing part of USMLE is a licensing exam. To study medicine in US, you have to first do a 4 years bachelor's in biology, which is called pre-med. Post that, you need to write an exam called MCAT and get into an MD school. Once you get into an MD school, that's when you prepare along with your MD for USMLE, and you write the USMLE to become a licensed doctor in US. My own cousin Swati is a practicing doctor in US, and that's how she also went when I guided her. Can you combine 3 subjects in liberal arts? Yes, you can. You can take double majors, 1 minor. You can take 1 major and 1 minor. It purely depends on you. If you wish, and if you can handle 3 subjects, you can combine 3 subjects in liberal arts. Sir, what can we do in abroad? What opportunities we miss if we do CA in India? So if you do CA in India, you do not miss out on any opportunities. But what you need to understand, Hari Krishna, is if you want to go into finance or you want to go into accounting. In India, financing and accounting are kind of overlapping. It's a very gray area. However, abroad, finance is a separate field and accounting is a separate field. If you study CA in India, you can go abroad and write certain exams for ACCA, CIMA, and CPA. And most of these courses, if you are a qualified CA in India, will give you certain waivers to some of their subjects as well. So you can look at ACCA, CIMA, and CPA if CA is your calling. Sir, can you please explain about Global Edconnect again? Global Edconnect is a 2-day event. 12th of November is an event for teachers, principals, educators to join in to listen to finest of the educators across the world. 100+ speakers, including influencers like Ankur Wariko, including CEO of PI, Amy Baker, including the president of NCDA. Hundreds of speakers from across the world will be coming and talking to teachers, educators on 12th of November. On 13th of November, you will be able to get free career counseling from me, and you will be able to meet 80+ universities from India and outside India. You can go into their rooms, virtual rooms, and talk to them. The registration link was given in the chat. I will request my team again to put the registration link. Sir, can you please tell about game development? Yes. See, game development is a big time career for the future. Earlier, we used to feel that gaming is only for entertainment. So for example, if I love Fortnite and if I can create Fortnite, then I should go into game development. Today, gaming is a part of a lot of other industries. For example, education is driven by gaming, which is called edutainment. There are games being made for mathematics, for astrophysics, for learning stock markets. Game development is a great career for the future. To get into gaming, if you want to go into the coding side of gaming, then you should do Bachelors of Computer Science, not computer engineering. But if you want to get into the entire cycle of gaming, then you can get into game development from any career. Take an example. How is a game developed? You need a good story writer to write the story of the game. Fortnite has a story, right? You need a good story writer to write the story of the game. So creative writing is the career. Then you need a good sketch artist to design the characters of the game. Sketching is the career. You need a good animation artist to design animation of the game and convert these sketches into animation. Multimedia and animation is a career. You need a good psychologist to put trips and traps into the game. There are times when we go to our parents running and say, can you give me 500 rupees from Apple store to buy certain coins because I want to take certain powers to go to the next level. So psychology can also get into game development. Gaming is an industry. Game development is a career. So game development, if you want to get into, then you need to take bachelor's in computer science. But if you want to get into gaming as an industry, you can go through any other industry and get into gaming as an industry. VBCA 10, Shreya S is asking, how about Harvard, sir? Harvard is a great institution to get into. Do not forget about writing SATs. Do not bring anything less than 90% in your 11th and 12th, because if you bring less than 90%, Harvard is very high on academics. So you really need to understand that Harvard is very competitive. Less than 4% is the acceptance ratio. And if you want admission into Harvard or scholarship, you really need to build a very, very strong profile and good academics. Can you please give an idea about liberal arts? Sugita is asking. Sugita, liberal arts and liberal education are one and the same thing. Liberal arts is not humanities. Any degree which allows me to combine various subjects is either liberal arts / liberal education. And you can study science also in liberal education, just FYI. Yogeshwaran is asking, sir, please tell about archaeology. Archaeology can be a great career. To become an archaeologist, you need to have a great understanding of history. You need to have a great understanding of soil. So what you need to do is you can go into archaeology through humanities and through sciences both. You do not have to worry. It can be a great career, but initial few years as an archaeologist are pretty stressful. You have to start absolutely by digging your hands into the mud and then learn about archaeology. And you need to have significant interest in history and human culture, sociology, history. You need to have amazing interest in it. So can you brief about having 2 or more careers at the same time? For example, to have a career with music as well as psychiatry. Definitely. If you combine psychology with music, then you can go into a career called music therapy. It's like enjoying music as well as enjoying psychology. Do you know my best friend Aman Batla is the world's fastest pianist, and he's a music healer. He's a music therapist. You can Google his name. He's the world's fastest pianist, and he's my childhood buddy. So he took a career like that. Okay. Sir, tell about agricultural management abroad. So to study agricultural management abroad, my sense would be either you should do your Bachelors of Sciences in Environmental Sciences or Bachelors of Sciences in Agricultural Science itself, and then you go into your Masters of Agricultural Management if you want to get into that kind of a career. Sir, should we register in these websites for medicine, sir? If you are looking for going towards medicine, then registering for our chemistry internship will actually definitely help. Is there any other way to practice as a licensed doctor? No, there is no other way to practice in US or international countries. In US and Canada, medicine is a second degree, not a bachelor's degree. Please remember, there are two fields specifically, rather three, which are very dependent on the local laws of that country. One is called law, the other is medicine, and the third is architecture. And these three fields, you have to really be aware about the local laws of that country to become a lawyer, a doctor, or an architect in that particular country. Archaeology, we have already talked about. Fine arts and calligraphy, there are amazing careers around fine arts, amazing universities, both in India and outside India. Internationally, if you want to go to US or Canada, there is Royal College of Arts in UK. There is New York, there is a School of Visual Arts in New York. So there are amazing universities. Just pick up the right course in fine arts, in sketching and designing, and you should be done. Sir, can you tell about IT courses abroad? IT is IT across the world. As long as you take bachelor's in computer science, most of the international universities also have bachelor's in computer science. Most of the Indian universities also have bachelor's in computer science. That's how you will be able to go into IT. My suggestion is for students who want to get into IT, do not just try and become a coder. IT today is leading to various other fields like machine learning, artificial intelligence, data science, business intelligence. And if you want to go into those careers, possibly try combining computer science with mathematics or computer science with economics. Sir, when will the internship start? The introductory session of internship is today at 2 p.m. If you will register now, you will get your link to Zoom automatically for 2 p.m. session. The internships will begin on 10th of January and will finish on 25th of January with only about 4 to 5 sessions online, that too in the evening hours. How is the future for robotics engineer? Robotics is the future. You know, we are talking about countries being built. If you know, Saudi Arabia is building a country which is called NEOM. NEOM is going to be first futuristic city in the world where number of robots will outnumber the number of humans. YouTube it, you will get to know about NEOM. Robotics will be used in every field whatsoever. Whether it is manufacturing, whether it is routine and mundane tasks, whether it is logistics, whether it is medicine, robotics is the future. To get into robotics, either you need to do bachelor's in mechanical engineering or you need to do bachelor's in electronics engineering. Please remember, computer engineers do not get into robotics. They go into software side of robotics, which is AI. If you want to get into hardware side of robotics, then you need to do mechanical engineering and electrical engineering, because scientific name of robotics is mechatronics, a field of study where mechanical engineering and electrical engineering combines. For automobile engineering, you can definitely look at Germany. That's the best place to study automobile engineering. For going into forensic sciences, I suggest you to study chemistry with psychology, which can even take you to forensic sciences and can even take you to criminology. Aeronautics and aviation, great places to study can be Canada. You must look out for a university called Ryerson in Canada, which is great for their aeronautical and aeronautical engineering. Sir, which country would you be best suited for biotechnology? Australia and Canada? I would suggest Canada for biotechnology. One more country that I will suggest will be Ireland, which is the capital of biotechnology in the world, especially a city called Dublin. Trinity College Dublin is a good university for you to go and study biotechnology, as well as Canada. 9th standard students can definitely join Global Edconnect Fair, but they cannot join the internships. They'll be rejected. Psychology, Trichy is Trichy Ram Harish. Psychology is a great field for the future. Let's accept it. We all are becoming mad by the day. Hindi में मैं बोलता हूँ कि धीरे-धीरे हम सब पागल हो रहे हैं. We all are becoming crazy by the day. Imagine husband wife sitting on the same couch and wishing happy anniversary to each other on Facebook. If that is not going crazy, then what it is, right? Imagine we wishing our best friends happy birthday on WhatsApp and not picking up the call and talking to them. If that is not crazy, then what it is? Psychology is a great field for the future. You can become clinical psychologist, teenage counselor, counseling psychologist. There are amazing fields. You can combine psychology with various fields. Psychology plus computer science is artificial intelligence. Psychology plus economics is market research, consumer behavior. Psychology plus business management is human resources or organizational behavior. So it's a great field for the future. For rocket engineering, you need to first study aeronautical science. The answer is to somebody titled Zoom. Interior designing, again, is a field of designing. A pretty basic question. You can just Google about interior designing, and there are enough institutes in India which can tell you about interior designing. Sir, is it necessary to have 3 years of experience for MBA? For good universities internationally, you need minimum 2 years of experience, not 3. Yes, for good universities in India like ISB or good universities abroad like UCLA, you need 2 years of experience minimum to get into an MBA. All right, I think most of the questions are repetitive. I've answered most of them. Thank you so very much, guys. Yes, you can prepare for APs and you can prepare for SATs, Vibhuti Tiwari. The numbers were given to you. You can take it down, 9958879749. Call these people. They provide the best online tutoring for SATs and APs. But if you are in grade 10 and 11, do not miss out on SATs and APs. I'll request at this time, my colleague Randeep to again put the link for internship and GEC in the chat. But from my side, I am done. Thank you so very much, everybody. Thank you, Kavita, for inviting me. It's 11:30 on the dot, and I have tried to manage the time given to me.
Thank you, sir, for this wonderful session. I request Ashwita to go forward with the closing remarks.
Yes, ma'am. Thanks. Though it's a six-letter word, it is a telltale of a head that bows only in front of those who are worthy of its deference. I would like to thank our distinguished chairman, sir, our director, sir, director academics, ma'am, vice president, Miss Kavita, mother, ma'am, head of schools, principals, vice principals, the most prized coordinators, teachers, and valued students and audience. I once again like to thank everyone for making this event a memorable one. Thank you all. May this memory of this magnificent event slip into saga. Let the laurels continue. May this day indelibly etch its presence in our mind. Stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, for having me. All the best, boys and girls. Enjoy your career journey and keep following us on High School Mom's Instagram handle. See you around. Bye-bye.